Lethargic Sloth here, and it's time to talk about Italy. Before I get started, I want to apologize ahead of time for my pronunciation of any of the Italian words. I usually have a problem pronouncing English words, so this is going to be a real challenge. So bear with me on the pronunciation, and we'll get through this. Italy will be represented by Ermal and Fabrizio Moro with the song Non mi avete fatto niente at Eurovision 2018. If I had to describe the song in one word, it would be resilient. The song is about resiliency in times of distress and hard times, the terrorist attacks all across Europe, and standing in front of that, being resilient and saying, "You have not affected me. You have not affected my life, and you will not affect me." It's resilient, it's strong, and it's a powerful message. So before I start the review, I'll talk a little bit about the singers. So it's kind of funny because last year we had the Romanian connection with Romanians representing parts of or total acts in obviously Romania, Moldova, and Switzerland. Well, this year it's the Albanian year because we have Ermal he's Italian Albanian, and we have Cyprus, which is Albanian, and then obviously Ghent Pushpepa from Albania. So it looks like we're not done yet. We might see a couple more Albanian singers. So this is the year of Albania, I guess. But getting back to that, Ermal uh, was a member of Italian bands Amoeba 4 and La Fame di Camilla. And then he went solo in 2016. And the last 2 years at San Remo, he's finished third both years, so it must be great to break through this year. Fabrizio Mobrici, or Fabrizio Moro, has been singing since 2000 as a solo artist. That was his debut album, and he's had #1 hits in Italy and wrote for bands including Stadio and Noemi. So that's an introduction to the guy singing here. So I'm not generally a fan of political songs at Eurovision. I kind of think that the artist should generally record their political songs on their albums or outside of Eurovision, because Eurovision's a time to bring everybody together and just enjoy music. But, there is a place for it, and it's really hard for even myself to argue against this song and the message because it speaks out against the terrorist attacks. I think we can all agree that terrorist attacks are bad, and it talks about standing up in the face of this adversity of these attacks with a smile of a child. It shows you didn't do anything to me, you didn't affect me. Life goes on. So staring at the face of these attacks, and it points out that we have differences in religion, we have all these other differences, but we're a lot more alike than we seem. We're all human beings at the end of the day. The wars are pointless, and no matter what happens with these evil people committing these attacks or these unnecessary wars, at the end of the day, we are all humans. And if we start to understand that, maybe there won't be a need for all this conflict. So it is a positive message. I'm not a pacifist by any means, but I'm also not for offensive warfare. I'm completely in total support of defensive warfare personally, but it's a nice song. I think it has a nice message, and it's a song that needs to exist in the times that we have, the times that we live in right now. So that's my best understanding of it. Obviously, I don't speak Italian, but I looked at the lyrics. So, so what's good about the song? Let's start out with the voices. They work so well together. It's nice to see a duet with two guys with such amazing voices together. A lot of times you get male and female, and they have great voices that complement each other, but it's nice to see the male-male pairing here. And it seems like they really enjoy performing together. They seem to have a blast, and they work incredibly well together. The song itself is quite memorable. It took me a couple times listening to it to get it stuck in my head. Now I can't get the melody out of my head, and I find myself humming to it at work. This bodes well for it being a memorable song. It's going to stick out in the competition. This year is a little strange. We don't have a lot of ballads thus far. There's a lot of diverse choices, and this is going to stick out regardless. Just because there's not a lot of slow ballads, this is still going to be one of those songs you're like, I know that's Italy, I know that song. When you hear it, it sounds distinct from everything else. So, what are some potential problem areas of the song? Well, you have a political song. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and there's plenty of people that are so tired of the topic of terrorism. They're so tired of hearing about it. They're so tired of just dealing with it in general, and Eurovision is something that can offer escapism. So they're going to hear that and be like, oh, not again. I have to hear about this at news. I have to hear about this in other places. Do I really have to hear about it here at Eurovision? I'm not saying that's going to be the majority of people that feel this way, but there's going to be some that are definitely going to think that way. So it might hurt the song, it might not. It just depends on the mood. I think it's kind of a positive song dealing with the topics, so it shouldn't affect it too much. My bigger concern, though, is this song an instant attractant. And what do I mean by this? For the contest, many Eurovision fans tune in just for finals night. Many obviously watch both the semifinals and the finals, but many don't listen to the songs ahead of time and they just watch the finals. So, will this be a song that those fans gravitate towards? It's a big number of fans that just tune in, listen to the songs on finals night, and then vote. There's a lot of people that do that. It's a huge number, actually. So is this going to be a song that hooks those people right away? After I got to listening to it, I thought, well, that's a lot to take in. A song like Albanians, I knew I loved it right away. So if we're giving a balanced review here, which I strive to do whenever I can this be a song that people listen to and get hooked on immediately enough for them to want to vote for it? Televoting is where I see the most potential problems here. I don't know that people will vote for it regardless of the sounds or the message. I have a hard time thinking of reasons for why people would vote for Italy compared to some of the other songs. Maybe the ones with not such a deep message. But will this song give people enough reason to vote? And that's the question. We'll just have to see. I have my doubts, but I personally enjoy the song, so that's just me. So what's my rating for this song? Well, it's a grower for me. I wasn't instantly hooked on it, but now that I've heard it more and more, I'm starting to like it a lot more. It's growing on me. I worry about that for the contest, though, because hearing it just on finals night, are people going to be willing to vote for it? But this isn't about that. This is neither here nor there. This is my personal rating. So for my personal rating, I'm going to give this song, for right now, an 8.5, with the stipulation that, of course, I can change the scoring later on in the competition. I will make an end of the year video where I change any scores should I want to, should I like a song more or less later on. So I think 8.5 right now is perfect for how I feel about the song. It's a very good song. So is this song a contender or a pretender? I have to call this song a dark horse contender. You'd think it being Italy, it's got a chance to be a powerhouse favorite. But the thing is, I don't see everybody getting this song when they first hear it. I think it's going to be powerful, it's going to stick out, it's going to stand out. But the problem is how many people are going to get it? Are they going to see past the message? Are you going to have too many people wondering, oh, what are they getting at? What are they saying? Or are they going to understand it enough to want to vote for it? That's what I'm worried about most. Are people going to go out of their way to vote for this? There are a lot of songs, and this is one that can either do really well or disappoint. I think for the singers, it's more important that they get the message out rather than to win, which always seems like a good thing because it makes them feel more genuine, more authentic when they're up there. Like they're not just producing this song for Eurovision to go up and win Eurovision. It's not a Eurovision construct. It's a song that's supposed to have deeper meaning otherwise. And so they're not going up there just to win Eurovision. They're more important with spreading this message of peace and hope for the people. So we'll see. I'm going to call it a dark horse contender, though, because I think it has an outside shot to win. But then again, being a song that could potentially be divisive, although it shouldn't be. But anytime you take the political route, you never know what kind of reception you're going to get. It's not an inherently political song, but people will take it either way, just like France. Some consider it political, some don't. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I'm calling it a dark horse contender. Italy has been one of my favorite countries since I started really paying attention to the competition in 2015. I had Italy in 2015. They were my number one through most of the year in 2015 when I started understanding the contest a little bit. I actually dropped them to number two for Estonia because I fell in love and have remained more so in love with Goodbye to Yesterday than Grande Amore, but I love both songs dearly. And last year, Occidentali's Karma was my number one song the entire season. That never wavered. I had Occidentali's Karma as my number one when I first heard it, and it never changed. So Italy has a very, very, very high place in my heart. I'm actually going to be doing a video after all the songs this year are completed. I want to do a video based on mathematical calculations of who my favorite countries are, combining the last 4 years and averaging them out. And I think Italy would probably be, top three. So we'll have to see how that works out. It's going to be an interesting video. So subscribe if you want to see that later on. But what I'm saying here is I love Italy. I always love their music, and I love the passion that comes with that music. So it doesn't change this year. I think Italy's going to have a very nice year at Eurovision 2018. So since this song is in Italian, I'm going to read off the English lyrics. So, the song, You Didn't Do Anything to Me. In Cairo, they don't know what time it is now. The sun above the Rambla isn't the same today. In France, there is a concert. People have fun. Someone sings loudly. Someone shouts death. In London, it is always raining, but today it isn't bad. The sky doesn't grant discounts, not even for a funeral. In Nice, the sea of red, of fire and disgrace, of people on asphalt and blood in the cesspool. And this enormous body that we call Earth, injured in its organs from Asia to England. Galaxies of people lost in space, but what is more important is the space of a hug. Of mothers without children, children without fathers, enlightened faces like walls without pictures, minutes of silence broken by a voice, you didn't do anything to me. You didn't do anything to me. You didn't take anything away from me. This is my life that continues, beyond everything, beyond people. You didn't do anything to me. You didn't gain anything, since everything goes beyond your useless wars. Some people cross themselves, some pray on carpets. Churches and mosques, imams and all the priests, separate entrances to the same house. billions of people hoping for something. Arms without hands, faces without names. Let's swap the skin. At the end, we are all human beings. Because our lives are not a point of view, and a pacifist bomb doesn't exist. You didn't do anything to me. You didn't take anything away from me. This is my life that continues, beyond everything, beyond people. You didn't do anything to me. You didn't gain anything, since everything goes beyond your useless wars, your useless wars. Skyscrapers and subways fall, the walls of separation erected for bread, but against every terror that is obstructs the way, the world stands up again with the smile of a child, with the smile of a child, with the smile of a child. And then it goes into the you didn't do anything to me and the final chorus. And at the very end, I am aware that nothing will return again. Happiness flew off the way a bubble flies away. Thank you for watching my review of Italy at Eurovision. Please subscribe if you want to enter some of these contests I'll be doing. I'm going to be calculating your favorite songs. We're almost at that point where we can do top 10s. Then I'd like to do a weekly show on my top 10s versus your top 10s collectively. So subscribe if you want to look forward to that. I'll probably start doing that next week. I think next will be Belarus. I think that's the next country in line. So look for that coming out soon. Thank you for watching, and Lethargic Sloth out.